Unbelievable!
Coming up, we'll have a recap of the previous Padres game, a preview of today's starting pitching matchup, our keys to the game. Plus, we'll hear from manager Mike Shildt.
Ultimately, what we're here to do is win.
From the Padres Radio Network, here's Sam Levitt.
San Diego Padres baseball coming up on 97.3 The Fan and the Padres Radio Network. Today, the Padres take on the San Francisco Giants in the third game of a four-game series. Our starting pitching matchup today for the Giants, right-hander Landon Roop, and for the Padres, left-hander J.P. Sears. Hi, good everyone. Sam Levitt with you inside the Western Metal Building here at Petco Park. First pitch coming up at 6:40. Coming up in the next 50 minutes, we have a lot to do. We'll hear from Padres manager Mike Shildt. I go one-on-one with tonight's center fielder, Ramon Laureano. We check in with Tony Gwynn Jr. in just a little bit, our keys to the game, and much, much more. But first, it's time to set the table, brought to you by Fraser Farms Market. Set your table with the highest quality of natural and organic products from Fraser Farms Market, a San Diego original since 1971 with 3 locations, La Mesa Vista and Oceanside, and at FraserFarmsMarket.com. Padres entered today 70-56. They snapped a 4-game losing skid last night. They enter the day 2 games out of first place in the National League West. They hold the NL's second wild card spot. Meanwhile, the Giants come in 61-65. They snapped a 7-game losing skid over the weekend, then won 2 in a row, then lost last night's game. Since July 12th, the Giants are just 9-22. They enter the day 6.5 games out of the NL's final wild card spot. Well, before we turn our full attention to today's game, let's relive the Padres collecting a much-needed win last night.
Did you miss what happened in the last Padres game? Let's take a look back with our Padres Rewind on the Padres Radio Network.
For a 4th consecutive game, the Padres fell behind in the opening frame. Remember, the Giants had hit back-to-back home runs to start Monday night series opener. Then last night, it was Jung-Hoo Lee who led off against Nick Pivetta.
A little bit of a different batting order, of course, for the Giants against the right-handed starter. As Lee sends one in the air to deep right center field, Fernando is back. He is at the wall looking up. This one gonna go. Different lineup, same result. Elliot Ramos, a leadoff homer on the 4th pitch of the game last night. And now Jung-Hoo Lee, a leadoff home run on the 2nd pitch of the game. Here tonight, it's 1-0 Giants.
That's all Pivetta allowed in the first inning. In the bottom half, right-hander Kai-Wei Tseng took the mound for the Giants. Padres manufactured a run to make it 1-1. It stayed 1-1 until the bottom half of the 4th inning. Ryan O'Hearn hit a leadoff single against Tseng. Xander Bogaerts was hit by a pitch. Gavin Sheets was hit by a pitch. That loaded the bases with 1 out for Jose Iglesias.
Oh, and 2 again to Iglesias. Bases loaded, 1 out. Here's the pitch from Tang. Swung on line into left field and a base hit. O'Hearn will score to give the Padres the lead. An RBI single for Jose Iglesias, and it's 2-1.
That was it for Tseng. Giants reliever Spencer Bivens came in. He'd issue a walk to Fernando Tatis Jr. with the bases loaded. Padres led 3-1. Padres then got more in the 5th inning. Manny Machado started the inning with a double. Ryan O'Hearn was next.
2-2 to O'Hearn. Bivens deals, and Ryan rips one into right center field. That's down to the base hit. Manny's rounding third. He's on his way. O'Hearn will be held to a single as Gilbert Stroh comes into second base. But an RBI knock for Ryan O'Hearn and a 4-1 Padre lead.
Aside from the leadoff home run to Lee, Nick Pivetta was great last night. Went 6 innings, 1 run, 3 hits. He struck out 10. Padres got another run in the bottom of the 6th inning. RBI fielder's choice for Luis Arraez after Pivetta went 6. Adrian Morejon pitched the scoreless 7th inning. Jason Adams did the same in the 8th. It was Robert Suarez in the 9th.
2-2 to Bailey. 7th pitch of the at-bat, and he sends it in the air to pretty deep left field. Laureano's backing up, feeling for the wall. On the track, hops up, and he makes the catch to end the game. Padres' mini skid comes to a close as Suarez works a 1-2-3 top of the 9th inning. And the Pods, a 5-1 win over the Giants in workmanlike fashion here tonight.
And an interesting note about yesterday's win, Padres improving to 26-28 when their opponent scores first. That is the best record in the major leagues this season when the opponent scores first. Let's go inside the Jerry Coleman Broadcast Center.
Let's take a trip up to the Padres broadcast booth for a deep dive on today's matchup with Tony Gwynn Jr. in our Padres game preview on the Padres Radio Network.
Tony, before we focus on today's starting pitching matchup, let's touch on somebody that really shined last night. That was Ryan O'Hearn, had the base hit in the 4th inning to start the rally, RBI single in the 5th inning to make it 4-1. Obviously, he's had a couple of really big home runs in his short time as a Padre so far as well. Yeah. What have you liked about Ryan O'Hearn when he's been in there?
His at-bats are solid every time. I know he got off to a little bit of a slow start when he first came over. I think he was 3 for, whatever amount of bats it was early, but his at-bats the whole time have been good, and it took him a little bit to settle in, but he certainly has swung the bat well. He's had some big hits for the Padres, and listen, I think the way he's swinging it now, you're going to probably expect to see him in the lineup pretty often until something changes.
JP Sears on the mound for the Padres today, coming up from AAA. His first start with the Padres came in Arizona a little over 2 weeks ago. He went 5 innings in that game, gave up 5 earned runs on 10 hits, and allowed 1 home run. I don't know that the outing was as bad as maybe the line was. He did keep the Padres in the game after some early trouble. Your thoughts on JP Sears and what you would like to see him do today?
Yeah, listen, I missed the first start. I was off when he pitched in Arizona, but, for him, he's not overpowering. And so I do remember watching that game on TV at that point. He was leaving. A lot of things were up. And, especially against that Diamondback lineup, who was a very, potent at offense. They could swing it. They got to him. When you're up in the zone like that and you don't have overpowering stuff, it can be tough at times. And the Diamondbacks took advantage. We'll see today. I know Mike said he's been working on some things. He didn't want to reveal too much. We'll see how that kind of manifests itself in the start tonight. Padres could certainly use another one. They saw the type of result they can get when they get good starting pitching. I think that's really been the missing thing in that 4-game losing streak is the fact that the starting pitching had been good. Yesterday it was good, and they got the result they wanted.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting with JP Sears, right? We've seen the Padres have so much success with pitchers coming over and developing in this organization. We'll see if he can take a step forward in his second start as a Padre here tonight. Tony, I want to focus on one guy in this Giants lineup that's swinging the bat well. That's Jung-Hoo Lee. He's actually celebrating his 27th birthday today. He's hitting .344 in his last 17 games. He got hurt last year, missed a lot of the year. Has had an up and down year this year, but has played well lately. What are your thoughts on Jung-Hoo Lee as he continues to still sort of get his feet wet in the major leagues?
I like him. I like him a lot. I think he does a lot of good baseball things. He can play D. He runs the bases well. And I think the thing everybody was waiting to see when he first came over was how he would fare offensively. I don't think there's any problem. I think the more he has opportunity in this league, the better he's going to get. Saw him explode on that second pitch fastball from Pavetta yesterday. He's got some pop, man. There's a lot to like about Lee. And if he stays healthy, man, he's going to be somebody that we're going to be talking about in this division for a little bit.
Yeah, well, he had a nice night yesterday, provided the lone run. The Giants would score with the leadoff home run. We'll talk about that a little bit later. A key for the Padres tonight certainly is getting off to a better start in the first inning than what they've done the last handful of days. Tony, as always, appreciate the time. We'll talk to you and Jesse coming up at 6:30. Thanks so much.
No problem, Sam. Take care.
All right, that was Tony Gwynn Jr. joining us on our EcoWater SoCal Padres pregame show here on the Padres Radio Network. Padres have won 8 out of 11 games against the Giants so far this season, snapping a 4-game losing skid last night with a 5-1 win. As always, if you want to get involved on our pregame coverage, you can do that in a number of different ways. You can find me on X at Sammy Lev, SammyLev. Instagram DMs open as well, Sammy Lev there too. You can also chime in on the 97.3 The Fan YouTube stream, and you can let me know who you are, where you're tuned in from. Me just give you a shout out here on the air, or you can also give me a key to today's game, and I may just read your key to the game coming up a little bit later on as well. When we come back, we'll hear from Padres manager Mike Shildt. Plus, a little bit later, I go one-on-one with Padres outfielder Ramon Laureano. We'll take a first look at the Padres lineup when we return as well. It's a busy night here at Petco Park. The loft is already packed on a Wednesday night. It is Michael King bobblehead night, that very cool Michael King bobblehead with the cape and the crown on his head. So a lot of people here very early tonight to pick up the bobblehead. So the loft is buzzing already on a Wednesday night. Should be a fun one as the Padres continue this 4-game series against the Giants. Our pregame coverage continues after this from downtown San Diego. EcoWater SoCal Padres pregame show continues here on the Padres Radio Network. Sam Levitt with you inside the loft here at the Western Metal Building at Petco Park as we get ready for today's game. First pitch coming up at 6:40 between the Padres and the Giants. Padres come in 70 and 56. The Giants at 61 and 65. The West Divisional Showdown against San Francisco is presented by Palomar Health, reimagining healthcare. Take a look at the lineup today for the Padres. It looks like this. You'll notice a couple of absences. Fernando Tatis Jr. in right field leading off. Luis Arraez, the DH, batting second. Manny Machado at third base batting third. Ryan O'Hearn, the first baseman, batting cleanup. Ramon Laureano in center batting fifth. Gavin Sheets, the left fielder, batting sixth. Jose Iglesias at shortstop batting seventh. Jake Cronenworth at second base batting eighth. And Freddie Fermin doing the catching, batting ninth, with left-hander J.P. Sears on the mound, right-hander Landon Roop on the mound for San Francisco. So you'll notice Jackson Merrill not in the lineup for a third consecutive day. Xander Bogaerts also not in the lineup. Let's hear about that and more from the Padre manager.
Let's pull up a seat in the manager's office and hear from Padres manager Mike Shildt. Served up by Sin Lee Food, where fresh meets flavor. Find farm fresh produce, bold Asian spices, and gourmet ingredients at 4665 El Cajon Boulevard. Sin Lee Food, the Cook's Asian resource.
Talk about JP Sears going for you today. What's going to be the key for him to have success today?
Yeah, excited about JP getting back. Excited to get him in the organization. We knew him just based on how our pitching was getting set up with Cortez and some other moving parts with Darvish, that, he was going to get the one start in Arizona, and then we knew he was going to get back to El Paso. But we also knew he's coming back, and he's pitched well down there, and what the expectation is, JP's got an arsenal that just go compete, throw strikes, work ahead. Let's throw up a 0 in the first and kind of go from there.
It's given a chance for everybody, I think, to get to know each other also, right? The organization, understand who he is. And have there been any changes or anything that he's worked on since he's come over?
There's always going to be like a little bit more of this, less of that, sweeper. I don't want to say too much because, but yeah, there's been intentionality about what his arsenal is, how he should use it, and when he should use it against righties and lefties.
Presumably just a little bit more comfortable for him now, having been in the organization coming back.
Yeah, I think that's going to be important. I mean, listen, now one thing with JP, he has had a couple of different organizations. So, he's got accustomed that can be hard to transition into a new organization. But it's still just that. It's a transition. And so I think he's, gotten more comfortable and is able to go do it. And he's ready to compete tonight.
Xander not in the lineup today. Is that in part because of the just physical beating that he's taken in the batter's box the last couple of nights?
It's a combination of things. Our regulars post, as most of us know. And so, in the stretch we're in, him taking a little bit of the beating he's taken, it just made some sense to give him a day to kind of reset.
He was hit by the pitch, and he was also fouled off the shin. Is it either of those, or is it just an accumulation?
It's a combination. I mean, Xander, to make it clear, could play today and has played through worse. He just, hey, man, let's just take a break. And, another thing is that, can get lost potentially, not on me at least, is, Jose Iglesias being able to play has been a benefit. And so, when he gets an opportunity to play at the expense of others sometimes, and in this case, it's at the benefit of Bogey getting a day off his feet. Jackson's doing – overall, Jackson's good in the sense of the imaging continues to be negative, and we feel comfortable and confident, even more so today, that there's nothing structural or long-term really in play here. But there is some bone bruising, which can take a while to heal, and there's some discomfort that's still taking place that we're going to continue to work through. And his improvement's been incremental, but it's been small increments. And so, hopefully can take, a step or two, pun intended maybe, or no pun, but, to next step. And but if not, we got to evaluate now that we're getting into day, 4, close to day 4 after today, that whether he needs to take the 10 days or we can expect him to get back into the competition this weekend.
That was Padres manager Mike Shildt earlier today inside the Padres dugout. We'll hear more from Mike on our post-game coverage coming up later on this evening. So we'll see what the deal ends up being with Jackson Merrill. Obviously, he's out of the lineup for a third straight day. That's not great news. And you heard there from Mike Shildt. Doesn't sound like it's impossible that Jackson could go on the IL. So we'll see what the update is in the next day or so on Jackson Merrill, but he is out of the lineup here tonight for the Padres. And like you heard there as well, Xander Bogaerts, if they really needed him to, could play tonight. However, they're going to give him a day off, and we'll see if Xander gets in this game at any point for Game 3 of this 4-game series between the Padres and the Giants. Let's pause for station identification on the Padres Radio Network.
KWFN and KWFN HD1 San Diego.
Hey, what's up? This is Nick Pavetta. You're listening to Padres Baseball on the Padres Radio Network.
An Odyssey Sports Station.
Sam Levitt with you here inside the loft at the Western Metal Building at Petco Park as we get ready for first pitch coming up at 6:40. The loft is buzzing right now. Everybody enjoying their beers and their mixed drinks and all the great food they have here in downtown San Diego at America's #1 ballpark. So everybody having a good time, enjoying Michael King bobblehead night. So a lot of people here very, very early, ready to have a good time and hopefully see a Padres win. Well, Bogart's not in the lineup. Merrill not in the lineup today for the Padres, but one guy who is Fernando Tatis Jr. He leads off, of course, today, playing right field. He's now reached base safely in 39 of 43 games since June 28th, a .402 on-base percentage in that span. And we'll see if Nando can continue, at the very least, getting on base at the top of the Padres lineup here tonight. Let's take you around the horn.
Let's examine the most important news and the latest information you need to know in the world of Major League Baseball. Sam Levitt takes you around the horn. Presented by Valley View Casino and Hotel. Get ready for Major League winning when you join Valley View Casino and Hotel's Players Club and receive over $200 in free instant offers. Visit valleyviewcasino.com to learn more today.
The Pittsburgh Pirates have decided to promote 22-year-old right-hander Bubba Chandler, baseball's top pitching prospect, before their game on Friday against the Colorado Rockies. So Chandler will make his major league debut on Friday against Colorado. So that should, well, you know what? Let me take that back. Chandler actually is expected to initially work in a bulk bullpen role, so it sounds like he's going to pitch Friday but won't start that game, but sounds like he'll debut on Friday for the Pittsburgh Pirates. So just a little clarification there. Orioles closer Felix Bautista has had another major operation, this time to repair a torn rotator cuff and a torn labrum. The Orioles say that Bautista had surgery today with in Los Angeles. The development comes just over a week after interim manager Tony Mansolino announced that the tall right-hander, standing at 6'8", would miss the rest of the season because of a significant shoulder injury, and it sounds like it's very likely that he'll have to miss most of next season as well. So that is a big, big blow for the Orioles bullpen, both the rest of this year and well into next year. The Reds put catcher Tyler Stevenson on the IL with a thumb fracture earlier today. He sustained that injury while catching a pitch from right-hander Hunter Green last week, so they'll be without Tyler Stevenson for a little bit. And then finally, a fun story here. You might remember the Brewers set a franchise record with a 14-game winning streak. George Webb, a local fast food chain in Milwaukee, they promised to give away free hamburgers whenever the Brewers reel off at least 12 straight wins. And they did good on their promise today as fans lined up outside each of their 26 Milwaukee area locations. They say that George Webb was expected to give out nearly 180,000 burgers. They had to purchase 25,000 pounds of beef, 4,000 pounds of onions, 300,000 pickle slices, and 200,000 buns in preparation for the giveaway. And again, that was because the Brewers won 14 in a row, and they had promised that if they won 12 in a row, they were going to give away free burgers. And they made good on that promise today to Brewers fans in Milwaukee. And that's a look at the headlines from around the major leagues. When we come back, we'll both give you some updates on the Padres side of the injury report and the Giants side. Giants had a guy out of last night's lineup that is back in there today. I also go one-on-one with Padres outfielder Ramon Laureano, and we take a look at our keys to today's game. First pitch coming up at 6:40 here in downtown San Diego on the Padres Radio Network. Welcome back to the EcoWater SoCal Padres pregame show. EcoWater SoCal keeping it soft since 1925. Sam Levitt with you inside the loft here at the Western Metal Building at Petco Park. First pitch coming up at 6:40 between the Padres and the San Francisco Giants as the Padres trying to make it 2 straight wins. Padres come in with a record of 70-56. Giants at 61-65. Padres have gone 8-3 against San Francisco this season after last night's win. They're outscoring the Giants this season 51-26 in those 11 games. So the Padres, for the most part, have played very, very well against the Giants. They swept them in San Francisco last week, and they've split the opening 2 games of this 4-game series. I go one-on-one with Ramon Laureano in just a moment. First, let's give you the latest on both the Padres and Giants injuries.
Who's in? Who's out? This is the Bada Fulkerson Injury Report, presented by San Diego's Bulldog Injury Attorneys, who hope you're never in an accident. But if you are, make Bada Fulkerson the first call you make. Hit them up 24/7 at badafulkerson.com.
2 guys out of the lineup today for the Padres. Jackson Merrill still dealing with that left ankle injury. He rolled that ankle on Friday night. This is the 3rd consecutive day Merrill is out of the lineup for the Padres, so we'll see what the update is on him in the next day or so. Jake Cronenworth, who was out of yesterday's lineup after getting hit by a pitch in the right elbow on Monday night. He is back in there tonight playing second base. And Xander Bogaerts, they're giving him a day off. He had that ball off his shin yesterday, got hit in the hand yesterday with a pitch, and you heard Mike Shildt earlier. If they really needed Xander to play, he could, but they decided to give him a day. He's played almost every day for the Padres this season. So Bogaerts and Merrill out of the lineup for the Padres. As far as the Giants, you might remember Willie Adames was out of yesterday's lineup. He had been dealing with soreness in his right side. Adames back in the lineup today for the Giants, playing shortstop and batting third. He's really struggled as of late, hitting just 123 with 25 strikeouts in 16 games in the month of August. And the Giants right now without Matt Chapman, he's on the IL with a hand injury. And that's a look at who's in, who's out for both the Padres and the Giants as we get ready for first pitch coming up at 6:40. Well, Ramon Laureano with Jackson Merrill out of the lineup today is in center field and batting 5th for the Padres tonight. He has been terrific since getting traded from the Orioles to San Diego at the trade deadline just a few weeks ago. I caught up with Ramon earlier inside the Padres clubhouse. Sam Levitt here on the Padres Radio Network as we get ready for today's game. And right now I'm joined by Padres outfielder Ramon Laureano. Ramon, congratulations on what's been a really good run with the Padres so far following the trade. I'll get to what you've done with the Padres in a little bit, but I do want to take this opportunity to introduce you a little bit further to Padres fans as they get to know you. You grew up in the Dominican Republic in Santo Domingo. What was early life like in the Dominican?
Very loving, loyal family, and just having only child, great parents, and just going to just a very happy kid, just very happy all around.
What were your earliest memories of playing baseball growing up?
I just remember going to the ballpark a couple times a week and just playing in my backyard with my only ball, and thank God I had a bat, and just tossing it to myself. And it was actually in the streets because we didn't have a backyard, but yeah, it was good. I had a lot of fun imitating the Yankees lineup at that time, obviously.
Did you grow up a Yankees fan in the Dominican?
Yeah.
Who were some of your favorite players?
Derek Jeter, A-Rod, Gary Sheffield. I mean, this whole 04 lineup.
Yeah, very, very cool. You've had an interesting journey because you grew up in the Dominican, but you ended up playing college baseball at Northeastern Oklahoma A&M College. How did you go from Santo Domingo to playing in junior college?
I think it was just a unique situation that popped up, and I think I got a scholarship to go to high school, so I took it, and then I had a scholarship to go to a junior college, and yeah.
What was the biggest adjustment life-wise when you went from the Dominican to the U.S., to high school, and then ultimately to college?
I think I was so focused on trying to get drafted and trying to sign that I really never really paid attention or felt none of that's really adjustment part of things. Obviously, I'm in Dominican to New York is a change, and then New York, Long Island to Oklahoma. That's a huge change, but I never really felt. I really embraced every moment, enjoyed every moment. My parents guide me, even though they were away from me, but they got me. We talked every day, and it was really good.
You mentioned getting drafted. You end up getting drafted by the Astros in the 16th round a handful of years ago. What were your emotions when you got drafted?
A sense of like a lot of hard work and decisions and sacrifice. That's what they call it. And but at the same time, the switch flipped right away. I'm like, let's go back to business. Let's go. Bring it to me, and let's go for it.
We're joined by Ramon Laureano as we get ready for today's game. You make it to the major leagues with, at the time, the Oakland A's back in 2018. You had a really memorable first hit in the major leagues. It was a walk-off hit, 13th inning. What do you remember about that?
I remember, trying to, on that hit specifically, trying to slow the game down, shock up a little bit, relax, let the ball get deep, let it come to you, because I already had like 3 strikeouts. So it was extra innings. And I just remember just see it deep, relax, and good things happen.
It would seem like that's every kid's dream to come up in that situation, chance to win the game and come through. It kind of feel like that to you?
Yeah, it was unbelievable. You're showing the moment, showing the approach, and then it happens. So that's when, as soon as it happens, you're like, oh wow, completely different thought that you were a second ago, which is crazy. Yeah.
To bring up another pretty cool accomplishment, you had your first 2 home runs in the major leagues came against Bartolo Colon, who obviously is a really, really big name, also from the Dominican. Was that kind of surreal to hit your first couple of home runs off Bartolo of all people?
Now that I think about it, I really don't think about it much, but it's cool. Absolutely. I mean, you're talking about one of the top pitchers from the Dominican Republic. It was trying to help the team win, and things happen, and that's how baseball is.
Ramon, fast forwarding to your time with the Padres, like I said, you've been great so far. You've done a really nice job going to right field. You hit the home run to right field in LA. Is going to the opposite field, is that something you focus on, or is it something that comes naturally to you?
I think it's just like a feel, but that doesn't mean that I will. That same approach, I can also hit it to left field. Yeah. It's just a matter of where is pitch and what kind of pitch and all that stuff. But that same approach or plan that I have, or feel really. I think I can spread it all around with that, and it's just being more frequently, going that way.
You're playing center field tonight. Obviously, Jackson out of the lineup dealing with the ankle injury. What's your comfort level out there in center?
Unfortunately, with Jackson down for a couple of days, maybe. I think, I like to be. I haven't really been fully there in a couple of years, I think, and I think it's gonna be good. I really like playing new positions. Let's say that, like, even though I have played before, but like it's just good. See it on a different perspective. The game, you feel more engaged than playing the normal position, and it's good it entertains me. So I'm pretty happy and excited.
Ramon, really appreciate the time. Keep up the great work. It's been a lot of fun watching you play with the Padres so far, and thanks so much. We'll catch up with you again down the road.
Thank you, Sam.
How will the Padres unlock a win today? These are the keys to the game. Presented by El Centro Motors Ford. Meet your new Ford General Manager, Greg Ryan, now at El Centro Motors Ford, your new Ford truck, Bronco, and SUV HQ. Call Greg directly at 619-944-0774.
Key number 1, do not give up first inning runs. The Padres have had 4 straight days of rough first innings. Let's go through it. Dylan Cease gave up 3 runs in the first inning on Saturday in L.A. Yu Darvish gave up 4 runs in the first inning on Sunday in L.A. Monday night, Nestor Cortes gave up 4 runs in the first inning against San Francisco. And then last night, Nick Pivetta gave up a leadoff home run to Jung-Hoo Lee. Pivetta would settle in, would be the only run he allowed in 6 innings. However, Padres pitching has been not good in the first inning this month. A 9.53 ERA in the month of August in the opening inning. Now, the only good news in this series, is that the Padres have allowed 5 runs in the 2 first innings and none in the other 16 innings of this series. So that's a little bit odd, but there's no doubt a key here tonight for JP Sears is throw up a 0 in the first inning. It's hard to win games if you're falling behind so early. So throw up a 0 in the first inning. That's key number 1. Key number 2, take advantage of a Giants team that doesn't like lefties. Giants hitters have a major league worst, 616 OPS against left-handed pitching this season. They've gone just 13-21 when facing a left-handed starter this year. Rafael Devers is only 4 for 41 with 18 strikeouts against lefties going back to July 7th. This is a team that has not played well against left-handed pitching this year. JP Sears, of course, a lefty for the Padres. Can he take advantage of that today? And speaking of lefties, it brings us to key number 3. Slow down Jung-Hoo Lee. Let's talk about limiting him, who he celebrates his 27th birthday today, by the way. Lee is hitting .344 with 11 runs scored in 17 games during the month of August. He's also in the midst of an 8-game hitting streak, and of course, he hit the leadoff home run last night. Limiting Jung-Hoo Lee, a key in tonight's game. Key number 4, runners in scoring position. Despite winning last night's game, the Padres were just 2 for 14 with runners in scoring position in the last 5 games. The Padres are only 6 for 40 with runners in scoring position. That is a 150 batting average in those situations. So even though, again, Padres won last night, they got to be better with runners in scoring position. We'll see if they can do that here tonight as the Padres take on the Giants in Game 3 of this 4-game series. Let's take a full look at the out-of-town scoreboard, tell you what's going on around the major leagues.
Let's take a trip around the bigs to highlight the scores that matter most with our out-of-town scoreboard. Presented by Jensen Premium Beef Patties. Always a hit for grilling.
We have a handful of finals already in the major leagues today. Braves beat the White Sox 1-0 in Atlanta. The Diamondbacks beat the Guardians 3-2 in Arizona. The final in 10 innings as Arizona walked it off on Cleveland. It was Adrian Del Castillo, a walk-off single in the bottom half of the 10th inning in that one. Tigers beat the Astros 7-2 in Detroit. Phillies beat up on the Mariners 11-2 in Philadelphia to complete a 3-game sweep of the M's. The Pirates beat the Blue Jays 2-1 in Pittsburgh today. Pirates scoring 2 runs in the first inning after the Blue Jays got 1, and that was it. 2-1, Pirates win it. Games going on right now. The Nationals lead the Mets 5-4 in D.C. in the 9th inning. Marlins leading the Cardinals 6-2 in Miami in the 8th inning. Yankees ahead of the Rays 2-0 in Tampa Bay in the 7th. The A's and the Twins tied at 2 in the 6th inning in Minnesota. Royals lead the Rangers 3-2 in Kansas City in the 5th inning. Cubs lead the Brewers 3-1 in Chicago in the 5th. Rockies lead the Dodgers 2-0 in Colorado in the 3rd. Games yet to begin. Just one aside from this one. Reds and the Angels at 6:38 in Anaheim. And that is a full look at the out-of-town scoreboard on this Wednesday evening across the major leagues. When we come back, we'll tell you what to watch for in today's game. Plus, we have a full breakdown of our starting pitching matchup between left-hander JP Sears and right-hander Landon Root on the mound for San Francisco. Everybody having a good time here inside the loft at the Western Metal Building, enjoying all the drinks and the food, everything you can enjoy here at Petco Park on an absolutely gorgeous Wednesday evening as the Padres try to make it a 2nd consecutive win. Our EcoWater SoCal Padres pregame show continues after this on the Padres Radio Network. EcoWater SoCal Padres pregame show continues here on the Padres Radio Network. Sam Levitt with you inside the loft here at the Western Metal Building at Petco Park. First pitch coming up at 6:40 between the Padres and the Giants. We send things out to Jesse and Tony in just about 7 minutes. The West Divisional Showdown against San Francisco is presented by Palomar Health, reimagining healthcare. Let's tell you what to watch for in tonight's game.
What's the one thing Sam Levitt will be keeping his eye on in today's game? This is What to Watch For, presented by Genesis Home Improvements, San Diego's trusted painting, roofing, and window company. Save 15% today on a new beginning for your home. Visit GenesisHomeImprovementsSD.com.
What to watch for in tonight's game? Can the Padres bullpen continue this dominance against the Giants? Padres relievers, how about this? They have a 0.96 ERA in 37 innings and a third against the Giants this season. That includes 20 consecutive scoreless innings as a bullpen against the Giants. That is awfully hard to do when you have so many different guys contributing to that number. Again, against the Giants this season, Padres relievers have a 0.96 ERA in 37-plus innings. 3 appearances for Padres relievers yesterday, and they found a way to get it done. 3 scoreless innings between Morejon, Adam, and Suarez. We'll see if the Padres can continue that excellent work here tonight. And that is a look at what to watch for in tonight's game. Let's break down tonight's starting pitching matchup between J.P. Sears and Landon Roop.
Let's take a look at who's on the bump today with our starting pitching preview on the Padres Radio Network.
Left-hander J.P. Sears on the mound for the Padres today, 29 years old in 2025 in the major leagues, a 5.12 ERA, 23 starts, 116 innings, 101 strikeouts, and 122 hits. First start with the Padres came in Arizona a little over 2 weeks ago in 5 innings, allowed 5 earned runs on 10 hits and 1 home run. He faced the Giants twice earlier this season as a member of the A's. One of those starts was great, 6 scoreless innings on July 4th. The other one was on May 16th, gave up 4 earned runs in 4 innings, gave up a home run to Wilmer Flores. Flores, by the way, had 3 home runs in that game. His career numbers against the Giants are good, a 1.82 ERA in 4 career starts. Against San Francisco, Sears gave up just 2 runs in 5 innings for AAA El Paso last Tuesday. By the way, Wilmer Flores is batting cleanup, the DH tonight for the Giants. Meanwhile, right-hander Landon Roop on the mound for San Francisco, 7-6, a 3.45 ERA, 21 starts on the year, 104 innings and a third. He's allowed 108 hits, 100 strikeouts, and 43 walks. He returned to the mound last week after missing 3 weeks with elbow inflammation. He gave up 5 runs in 3 innings to the Rays before hitting the IL. Roop was really good. He posted a 1.15 ERA in a span of 6 starts. Roop gave up 4 runs in 4 innings and a third on April 30th in San Diego. He then was really good in his start against the Padres in San Francisco in early June. He went 6 1/3 scoreless innings. So we'll see what version of Landon Roop the Padres see today. J.P. Sears on the mound for the Padres, making his second start in the brown and gold. As always, thank you for listening to the EcoWater SoCal Padres pregame show. EcoWater SoCal, keeping it soft since 1925. Your water should be perfect. Well, the Padres snapped a 4-game skid last night with a 5-1 win. Padres enter the day 70-56, 2 games out of first place in the National League West. Padres still holding the NL second wildcard spot. Meanwhile, the Giants are 61-65. They snapped a 7-game losing skid over the weekend. Then they won 2 in a row. Then they lost last night. No secret, it's been a tough run of it as of late for the Giants since July 12th. They are just 9-22 entering today's game. We'll see how J.P. Sears does as he takes on this Giants lineup. Game 3 of a 4-game series between these two teams. And when we come back, Jesse Ackler, Tony Gwynn Jr. have the full starting lineups, first pitch, and all the play-by-play. I'll talk to you on our post-game coverage. You're listening to your home for San Diego Padres baseball. 97.3 The Fan and the Padres Radio Network. Enjoy the game, Padres fans.